This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our first Selectman State of the Town address. I'd like to thank Fantasia. They have a great staff here. They do a great job for us every time we have an event, so let's have a round of applause for Fantasia. We'd like to thank our sponsors. We are very grateful to our event presenters. Ciola and D'Onofrio and North Haven Funeral Home have been sponsoring our first Selectman State of the Town for several years, and we appreciate their generosity. The Havens couldn't be here today, but Jeff D'Onofrio is here from Ciola and D'Onofrio. Jeff, can you please come up and say a few words?
Oh, Jeff is not here.
Oh, Jeff is not here. We have Jennifer.
Yeah, somebody that looks an awful lot like Jeff, though. My great brother. Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to fill in for Jeffrey today. We've been in North Haven now for 22 years and have the pleasure of representing the town of North Haven for all that time as outside counsel and as town council before that. I see a number of town staff here. It's my pleasure to work with them, great people, a number of board and commission members, terrific people, terrific volunteers. Really am honored to serve the town of North Haven as legal counsel. I'm here to introduce the North Haven First Selectman, Michael Frieda. Mike, where are you? Right in front of me. There you are. I can't say enough about this great man. He works tirelessly for the town, and that means sometimes, as we just talked about last week, taking action, and sometimes it means exercising restraint. And really happy to be here to introduce him. So I know that you want to hear from him and not from me, so Mike, if you'll come up.
Oh, wait, no, not yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm deviating from the program because I don't do this every year as Jeffrey does. It's only my second time, I think. So.
We have thank yous to get through.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. We'd like to thank our other sponsors as well, and if you can please stand when I call your company name. WQUN AM 1220. Right? Stimatic Restoration and Cleaning, and Webster Bank. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Walter Mann is here today from NHTV, and we would like to thank them for filming this event. And just a reminder, we will be continuing with our TV show on NHTV that highlights legislative and policy updates. It's called The Q Show. And we want to thank Walter, his crew, our Vice Chairman of our Governmental Affairs Committee, Mike DiGregorio, who is here today as well, for helping to produce that. If you could all stand, please. You can check NHTV for listings for that show. It's called The Q Show. We'd also like to acknowledge the companies that support us throughout the year as corporate sponsors and business partners. Would the sponsors that are here today please stand when I call your name? Olbrich Stainless Steels. We're going to hear a little bit about Olbrich and a little later on. WQUN AM 1220, Gray Andrewson is here. And United Illuminating, Rich Lepresti, who is also on our board, and the chairman of the EDC is here today as well. Thank you. And if you can please take a look at your programs, there's a complete list of sponsors on your programs. They enable us to bring these very important programs of work all year long. And they're up on our slides as well. We want to thank our board members who are here today. I think Evelyn Rossetti Ryan is here. Is she not here yet? Well, she's on her way, I believe, from ACES. And I'd especially like to thank our chairman of the board and global HR director of Olbrich Stainless Steels, Tom Curtin. He is a dedicated and hardworking chairman, and we can't thank him enough. Tom, would you please come up and say a few words?
Thank you very much, Dee. That was nice of you. So yes, it's great to be here with you today. I always look forward to listening to our first selectman, Mike Frieda, discussing new and exciting developments and business opportunities in North Haven. There is no question Mike and his team are on a mission, and there's a lot going on around town. I know you will agree that under Mike's capable leadership, North Haven is abundantly able to present itself as an attractive, vibrant, and business-friendly community. As such, on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Quinnipiac Chamber and all of its members, particularly our North Haven-based members, we want to let you know, Mike, we are very grateful for all that you do and to ensure a promising future for our community. Your vision, dedication, commitment to doing the best for North Haven is very much appreciated. How about a big round of applause for Mike? Before we turn it over to Mike, I would quickly like to add a little bit about the Quinnipiac Chamber. Some may not be aware of the extent of our reach and the nature of the many activities that we sponsor. The state town addresses are just two of the many events and programs the Q Chamber does for the towns of Wallingford and North Haven. At our annual meeting, we acknowledge local businesses and individuals that go above and beyond to serve the local community. Another key annual event is our Women's Achievement Awards, where we take time to recognize exemplary women in business in our region. Our Quinnopoly Business Showcase highlights all local businesses, large and small, and our annual Q Chamber Golf Tournament and our Golf League offers great networking and an opportunity to raise money for scholarships for college-bound students. And speaking of scholarships, just as a point of interest, the Q Chamber has given away approximately $125,000 over the last 10 years to students in Wallingford and North Haven. Thank you. In addition to our special events, the Q Chamber and our affiliate, the Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce, facilitates business counseling, training reimbursement, legislative advocacy, and is involved with any number of additional activities in the region. The members of the Q Chamber and our sponsors have made the decision to support their business community and the community at large, and we commend them. So let's give our Q Chamber members and sponsors a big round of applause for stepping up and being leaders in our communities. Thank you. Oh yes, and I do want to recognize the Q Chamber staff for all they did to put this terrific event together. Dee, Maribel, where's Maribel? She's out there running around somewhere. Gary, how about Gary? Thank you. And Hannah. Hannah has helped out too quite a bit. So what a great team they make. They work so well together and always do such a nice job coordinating our events. I really can't say enough good about them. Simply put, I think they're the best. So thank you very much again. And now I would like to bring up the man of the hour, North Haven First Selectman, Mike Frieda.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Great pleasure to be here. I'd like to thank our sponsors who help us make this event possible every year. And I believe this is the 9th consecutive year I've had the pleasure of addressing North Haven's business community. And I thank each and every one of you for your support to the town of North Haven. You are very, very important to us in helping make our community go and make our community grow. You know, in working with the Chamber of Commerce on this particular event, we decided to change it up a little bit. And before I take you through a State of the Union of the town, we've asked, in conjunction with the Chamber, 3 North Haven companies to each come up here and spend a couple of minutes to tell the rest of the business community what they do within our business community. So I would like to start by bringing up Mr. Jim Beck, who's the regional sales manager for Nicolak Brick Company here in town, a very long-standing business. Jim, would you come up, please? Jim, thank you for all you do in North Haven. You've been part of the community for many, many years, and I'd like to turn the podium over to you for a couple of minutes and share with us, the Chamber and our businesses here, exactly what you do in town. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I am the Regional Sales Manager for New England for Nicolak. We've been in North Haven, Connecticut for more than 15 years. I'm going to give you a quick snapshot. We've been in North Haven for more than 15 years. We employ, in peak season, more than 20 people, many of whom have been with us for more than 10 years. We are a paver and wall company manufacturer, and the company itself has been in business for more than 25 years. We make renewable products, we make green products, and we are basically cutting edge with a computerized plant, and our products and our colors are leading the industry. So basically, I like to press or to push made in Connecticut, and especially made in North Haven. And we continue to help make Connecticut more beautiful. So that was it.
Stay for a second.
Yep.
And Jim, I'd like to thank you very much because about 5 years ago, you know, we have our North Haven concerts on the green, and I noticed something as I was dancing with the senior citizens in town. It seems to be at a demographic that seems to like me, the 80 and over crowd, so I'm very grateful for that. So while we were dancing on the green, we were dancing on a grass surface. And this wonderful company ended up donating the bricks to the town of North Haven. Our Public Works laid the bricks, and now we have a dance floor the last 5 years that's loved by our residents, particularly our senior citizens who dance on the green. So James, thank you for that very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The next gentleman I'd like to bring up is a long-standing North Haven business, a very important part of the North Haven Rotary Club, Mr. Luigi Nuzzolillo. Is Luigi here? There he is. Luigi, thank you for all you've done for North Haven. I'd like to ask you to spend a few minutes in sharing your business model and your success story, because it is a remarkable success story with this wonderful man here. Luigi?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Frida, and thank you to the Chamber for organizing this event. My name is Luigi Nuzzolillo. I own Forget-Me-Not Flower Shop in North Haven on State Street. And I've had the privilege over the past 30 years of serving the floral needs of the North Haven families as well as business, both in North Haven and the surrounding town. And I must tell you that North Haven is a wonderful, wonderful town to do business in. And the community has supported us for all, as I say, for over 30 years. So we are very grateful to that. And we feel that we are fortunate, really, to have had over the past years some great leaders here in North Haven, great leadership that has always looked forward. I've had a long vision for the town. And the administration of Mr. Frida is above, complete on top of that. It's at the top. And you just have to look around the town to see how much, with the vitality that this town offers. And so we are very, very grateful to be in this town. And we would like to continue to provide floral needs, whether it's for weddings, for whatever occasion may be, to the town, to this town. And so I'm very grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Luigi. Thank you, Luigi. Thank you for all you've done for North Haven. We appreciate it very much. And thank you for what you do for the Rotary Club.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now, our third and final company that we wanted to come up and share a few moments with you with, this is Mr. Ryan Say, who's the Director of Global Marketing for Albrook Steel. And about 5 or 6 years ago, Albrook Steel really made some significant expansion here in North Haven. particularly when they took over the old Stop and Shop building on Washington Avenue, which was the site of Stop and Shop's local headquarters. And of course, we've worked very closely to expand with Chris Ulbrich and Tom and the whole Ulbrich Steel family over in Defco Park. We're very grateful for that expansion. So is Ryan here? Ryan. A wonderful example of a company in neighboring communities, a very vibrant business in Wallingford, and a company that's expanded here in North Haven. We like that, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan?
Thank you. Thank you. Of course, the millennial and digital native in me, I had to put some slides together, so bear with me for a second. So thank you very much to the Chamber and to North Haven for allowing us to be here. I'm with Ulbrich Steel. We were founded in North Haven, or headquartered in North Haven in the old Stop and Shop building, founded a few miles down the road on Route 5 in Wallingford in 1924 by Fred Ulbrich Sr. We are still 100% family owned by the fourth generation of the Ulbrich family. We employ about 700 people worldwide, with about 550 here in the US and about 325 between the couple miles on Route 5. And we have multiple divisions. You'll see here the Defco Park, we have our shaped wire as well as our big yellow warehouse that most of you have seen. And then down a little bit further into Wallingford is our strip mill. In addition to the facilities on this quarter, we also have 9 total spanning 3 continents and 5 countries across the globe. So just a lot of people probably drive by Ulbrich and not really realize what we do. So I just thought I'd give a little visual on, obviously given the name, we process stainless steel and all other special metals. So to give you a sense of the supply chain, it all starts with scrap here on the left where it's melted down and then converted into different shapes, and what we sell is metal that looks like giant rolls of toilet paper. And where Ulbrich plays a value here is what's called cold rolling. And so we buy metal that's melted at the big melt mills that are out in Pittsburgh in that area, and then we convert it to specific sizes. And for anyone who's ever made pasta, we're really kind of doing the same thing with metal. So we're squeezing a large mass through a smaller hole and out comes something thinner and longer. So same thing with making pasta. Our capabilities go from 0.125 inches down to 3/10,000ths of an inch thick, and all the various thicknesses in between. And just to give you a sense of what that is, so a CD is 47/1000ths of an inch thick. A business card is about 10/1000ths. A sheet of paper is 4. A human hair is 3. And aluminum foil is 6/10,000ths. So we're rolling about half the thickness of aluminum foil here in North Haven. So just to give you a sense of what all those decimals mean. Some of the applications and parts we go into, so we kind of cover everything from medical to automotive, industrial, and everything in between. Something unique here that we partner with another company in North Haven is this item right here, which some of you may know as what a pacemaker would look like, or a defibrillator can. And so we work with them on the metal that goes in that. And this is the new one, which is 10% of the size of it. So working with a lot of the developers down here in North Haven at the Medtronics to develop things like that. And some of the companies that we work with that you folks may recognize here. So some pretty innovative and high-tech companies. And just to give you a spread of kind of the divisions that we play in, nothing too concentrated, and kind of have a little bit of a hand in everything. So that's Ulbrich. Thank you.
A remarkable story, a behind-the-scenes story that we wanted to share with you when you see all of the different sectors that a North Haven and Wallingford company do business with. Thank you very much, Ryan. So I'd like to now take you through a State of the Union of our wonderful town, North Haven, Connecticut. I'd like to first acknowledge all of the town employees who are here with us this afternoon. These are the wonderful men and women that make the town go. Without their support, we could never be as successful as we try to be. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Everywhere I go, ladies and gentlemen, all across the region, involved with the other mayors and first selectmen, all across the state in my affiliation with the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities, I sense that the mood seems to be that many of us, businesses and citizens, are drifting along a sea of apprehension and anxiety. And it seems to me that the mood is skeptical, somewhat bleak, and there's a great deal of question in terms of where are we going in Connecticut as a state. It's because of that mood and because of what I sense that I am on a relentless and implacable mission to do everything we can here in North Haven to change that mood, to create hope and optimism. North Haven has a great deal of opportunity. There are challenges, which I'll get into in a few moments, and there have been success stories. I'm happy to announce and report that Amazon has broken ground across the street, and we are on a fast track to have this Amazon facility built by the end of May in 2019. And that will be a big boost here in North Haven. We are working very closely with the Hillwood Corporation, who is Amazon's exclusive developer. Amazon Corporate has assigned a liaison, a project manager to me, to represent Amazon Corporate as a liaison between the town of North Haven and Amazon Corporate. We're working very closely also with the property owner, because Amazon is in a long-term lease with the property owner. And what we will see, ladies and gentlemen, is a facility that will yield 1.2 million square feet once it's up and running in May of 2019, a job creation that will start at 1,500 to 1,800 jobs and will expand to over 3,000 jobs here in North Haven. And what that will mean is a multiplier and ripple effect to our other businesses here in North Haven. There will be a significant amount of incremental tax revenue generated for the town that will help us continue to move forward and improve the town in years to come. In front of Amazon, right across the street here, we are trying to put a hotel there, another hotel, sort of an upscale hotel that we think would fit very nicely to help support Amazon Corporate and help support the relationship we have with Quinnipiac University. And that university has been a great asset to the town in terms of being an economic development multiplier for us in this area. And Don Weinbach is here, and Gina, thank you very much. As we move forward in terms of presenting some of the success stories here, a lot of our success stories have been in the warehouse distribution and in the commercial sector. Another example of a business that has been in Wallingford for years, the BIC company, BYK, they are now expanding into North Haven on 33 Stiles Avenue. They are taking over 135,000 square feet of warehouse distribution space. The job incremental creation here in North Haven will be approximately 100 new jobs coming over there. This is a company that makes the ingredients that other companies sell. And one of their biggest customers is the Sherwin-Williams Paint Company, of which we just opened a new retail store on Montewiese Avenue. As we look at different locations, 285 State Street is another example. 9,000 square feet of warehouse space has been filled with the McKesson Company. The McKesson Company is a worldwide company, and they're the makers and manufacturers of medical supplies and equipment in terms of distributing them also. So that is a great example of, if we look on North Haven's corporate billboard, and we take all of the companies here who are on that billboard and add companies like Amazon and McKesson, Yale Hospital, Quinnipiac University, we're a very attractive destination for many companies because of the businesses, institutions, and industries that we have here in town. You're going to see over the course of the next 3 to 6 months a lot of these plazas here on Washington Avenue be purchased and renovated. You're going to see facades change. You're going to see life and innovation pumped into some of these older plazas with new businesses coming in. Our goal is to populate every single empty building on Washington Avenue, and the introduction of Amazon here in town is helping us do that. State Street and Sackett Point Road are other examples of new businesses that have come in. Off of Sackett Point Road, a new unique business has come in, the Alternative Dental Company. This is a company that makes the products that dentists use when people go in for orthodontic surgery. They do the imprints for teeth, for gums, for jaws. And 29 high technical positions have come into Republic Drive in North Haven, off of Sackett Point Road, in a business that has been a sustainable business for over 30 years. These are the stories that many people don't hear about. New businesses wanting to come in. New businesses that will continue to come in. One of our biggest challenges, however, is in the retail sector. Ladies and gentlemen, through the gloom and doom of retailers and malls closing all over the country, we're seeing a little bit of that here in North Haven and the region. Toys R Us announced Chapter 11 nationally. Sports Authority went out of business nationally through a bankruptcy. So we have vacant space on the retail sector that we know we're going to be able to bring new businesses in. And we're working with every single retail plaza owner and have positioned ourselves to meet with respective retailers to try to bring them in here, despite what the image is of the retail industry. Richard Lopresti and I in March are going to be at a retail association to meet with retailers face to face. We have a lot of opportunities and a lot of success stories. The grand list grew once again this year. I'm anticipating a huge spike in the grand list 2 grand lists from now, with the introduction of all of the new businesses as they're building out and will be totally up and running. The town government financially, we will be balancing another budget at the end of this fiscal year on June 30th, which will be the 9th consecutive budget we've balanced, despite the fact that the town has taken a decline in state revenue to the tune of a little bit over $900,000 that will hit our general fund from monies that we had anticipated. But we're so strong financially we can absorb that without doing what some other municipalities have had to do, send out a supplementary tax bill as an example, or a reduction of services. We're now planning for this coming fiscal year and going through that budget process. We have been once again rated AAA rated status by S&P at the same time that municipalities were being downgraded just because of the news coming out of Hartford. Believe it or not, there were municipalities who were automatically downgraded because of the Connecticut economic situation, and they had nothing to do with the downgrade other than be under the umbrella of that image. We're fortunate that we have the AAA rated status. As we move forward, I'd like to share with you something I said back in November. Some of you may have already heard it. For those that haven't, I'd like to present to you a visual. I'd like you to visualize a lighthouse. And that lighthouse is sitting on a bedrock foundation of concrete and stone that's impenetrable. Swirling around that lighthouse are what sometimes can be the dark and turbulent waters of the economic condition of the state of Connecticut. And as the winds are battering that lighthouse, and as the storms continue to manifest themselves through the bad news that we're hearing, I'd like you to visualize on top of that lighthouse North Haven's chief elected official, along with his support team, shining a bright beacon of light, which is a powerful symbol for hope, optimism, and success. because, ladies and gentlemen, that is what's going to be delivered here in North Haven, Connecticut. I am committed to that and focused on that, and that is where we're going to go. I'd like to thank you very much. Thank you very much for your attendance and your attention, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions for anybody here this afternoon. Dee, if there's any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Yes. Is that you back there, Paula? How are you? So Leon's Restaurant has closed, and we were told originally that it closed because they wanted to renovate the bar area. Because as we've seen in the restaurant industry, the dining at the bar has continued to be a very popular venue, and Ludow's restaurant here in town is a good example of that. So Paula, with respect to Leon's, I don't think they're going to reopen, in my personal opinion. And we have brought in another restaurant group to look at the building in the event that Leon's does not reopen. I fully anticipate, once the decision is made by Leon's whether or not they will reopen, that a new restaurant will go into that section of that plaza there. So I hope that answered the question, Paula. Oh, I know why. Yes, I know why. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I have to be careful what I say. We are on TV here, so. But I know some of the reasons why. Yes. Yes, Dee.
I have a request.
What's the request, Dee?
What about a Christmas tree shop?
How many here want a Christmas tree shop in North Haven? Well, it's not that many though. Look. So look, we've tried. I'm going to share with you some work in progress that may or may not happen here in town, okay? I want to qualify for the residents watching on TV that what I'm about to say are projects that we would like to see. We have no definition in terms of whether or not they'll come to a conclusion. We're working hard to try to get a Home Depot at the site of the old Sports Authority. We would like to get a Christmas tree shop in town, but Christmas Tree Shop has said that they are not going to be coming into town. Because of the fact that we're too close to their most closest location, which is in Milford. Oh, Home Goods, I'm sorry, Valerie corrected me. We have the Home Depot, of course. So visualize the Sports Authority. We're trying to get a Home Goods there. I'd love to get a Home Goods there. So I hope that answers your question, Dave. I have to tell you a story about Stu Leonard's. I went out to meet with Stu Leonard's. Went out to Newington. And those of you in the business community may appreciate this. So I talked about how our residents want a Stu Leonard's, and we would open our corporate arm, so to speak, to bring them here. And they told me point blank that, Mike, we're not coming to North Haven because you're only 17 miles away from Newington. And we would lose business in Wallingford, possibly southern Meriden, definitely North Haven, and possibly North Brantford, those customers that currently go to the Newington store. So we were unsuccessful with the Stu Leonard's initiative. We actually reached out to Trader Joe's. People would love a Trader Joe's here, I think. They have 6 stores, ladies and gentlemen, out of 169 cities and towns in Connecticut, and they've told all of us as chief elected officials that we are not expanding in Connecticut right now. So I'm going to use a baseball analogy. And Don Weinbach from Quinnipiac and I played against each other, so it'd be an analogy that he and many others would appreciate. In baseball, every 10 at-bats will generally yield at least 7 outs. Economic development is kind of the same premise, meaning that for every 10 at-bats that we have on bringing new businesses in, we may only be successful on 3 of those, perhaps 3.5 on an average. And we have to keep in mind that it's like I used to tell my teammates as captain of my teams, never give up an at-bat. You can go 0 for 2, you'll still have 2 more at-bats, you can come out of that game going 2 for 4. Never get discouraged, never give up an at-bat, and that's the attitude that we have in North Haven. There's been a lot of rejections, particularly on the retail side, but we're always in the batter's box, and we're always facing another opportunity. And that is part of what drives us. Any other questions? Chris, and then I'll come back here. Yes, Chris.
In your past success in the private sector, what attributes have you brought to the public sector that you found useful?
I'd like to think that one of them is persistence and never giving up. 2 of them. I'll give you an example. Years ago, as a CEO of my company, there were 2 consumer product companies that we wanted to bring into our corporation, the Del Monte Company and McCormick Schilling. Each of those clients went through an exhaustive process of interviewing agencies all over the country, and it took 2 years. 2 years to get both of them in. And in that 2-year period, Chris, I said to all of our executive vice presidents, we are not going to give up on these projects. We're going to outwork and outlast the competition through the sheer force of our collective wills and our internal stamina. So I would say that those 2 examples are 2 qualities, if you will, that I think any chief elected official should bring to municipal government. Never get discouraged, never give up, and keep on going. Yes?
So, great job. Great stuff. It's so refreshing to sit and hear this in the midst of the state of Connecticut and all that's going on. It's wonderful. Couple questions, if I may,
Sure.
regarding Amazon.
Yes.
What type of jobs are these going to be? And also, have you folks looked at what you expect the impact to be on infrastructure and town services? To support
Those are
Amazon?
2 great questions. So, as far as the job creation, we know that many of the jobs will be warehouse distribution jobs that will pay in the $15 to $17, $18 an hour range to start. Those jobs will also have pretty rich benefit packages with great health insurance, 401k, a generous match, and a full tuition reimbursement program for young people that enter Amazon. And then the progression of those jobs are supervisors, floor managers, because there'll be multiple floors in the building, and various executive jobs. But there will be more wholesale distribution jobs, warehouse distribution jobs. Now, as far as the impact to services, we are in a conversation about that right now in the town. And the best way for me to answer the question is to describe 2 clients of mine I had in my business career. One was Gatorade. When Michael Jordan was the spokesperson for Gatorade, I was out in Chicago trying to bring that client into our company, and the client paid my company $1 million a year once we got it in. But we probably had $900,000 in resources from the company applied to that business. When we had Unilever, which was our largest client, we probably had only 15 to 20% of our corporate resources tied up into that revenue. It's very profitable. So if we look at Amazon and compare it to if that would have been a retail mall here, there would have been a tremendous amount of more of town services dedicated to a retail mall like we see over on Universal Drive versus a self-contained warehouse distribution facility. So it's difficult to project the exact impact on public services, but I can assure you it's going to be a lot less than what it would have been on the original plan years ago before I took office that ended up falling apart with a giant retail mall back there. So the answer to the question, ladies and gentlemen, is we in municipal government, like the businesses, all businesses, but there are some, like retail malls, that absorb more town services than industrial sites, warehouse distribution sites nestled in the back, on this case, 168 acres. I thought I saw another question, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Paul, is that you back there again? Okay.
What's happening with our train station?
So the question is, what's happening with the North Haven train station? And Jonathan Bodwell, who's here, and I are working very closely on this. Here's what's happening, Paula. The original destination is at the end of Divine Street. There's a question as to what the cost is going to be to remediate the old Humphrey Chemical Company back there. The DOT has met with me in my office. I've also met with Commissioner Rediker in Newington about looking at that site and now an alternate site, which is at the end of Stiles. And we won't know until they come in to see us in March what site they're going to come and suggest to us. And we're bringing in Pfizer also as one of the stakeholders. They own the property back there to have a conversation. And this project has slowed down for only one reason. Not so much what I just mentioned, but as most of you know, the State Transportation Fund is broke right now. And there's a great debate that's spanning across Hartford as to how to fund that. And some of the suggestions are from the governor, the 7 cents a gallon gas tax, $3 a tire, a surcharge if all of us go in and buy 4 new tires, $12 more, and then the longer-term plan of tolls. But I can tell you this, the DOT is fully committed to our train station, and now the question is how to fund the remediation of Humphrey Chemical, or look at an alternate site, or see what we can do to move it forward without a commitment on the funding. Any other questions? Yeah. Okay. Well, I thank you very much, and I want you to remember, if you remember nothing else about today's session, please remember this, that North Haven will be successful. In spite of the swirling things that you see around the state, we will be successful. That I can guarantee each and every one of you. Thank you very, very much.
We can't thank Mike Frieda enough for all he does for this town. He works tirelessly. So let's have another big round of applause for our first selectman, Mike Frieda. I'd also like to, I'm probably going to embarrass them, but I would like to have the job that our firemen and policemen do get harder and harder every day. And we can't thank them enough. They have the most selfless jobs out there that there probably are. So please, all of our people from our firemen and policemen, could you please stand? Thank you for being here today. Okay, there's a couple of things that I just have to point out that I'm hoping that you will join us for, a couple of events, but one important event for the state is Connecticut Business Day on March 14th. We invite all of our businesses to join us in Hartford. We need your voices. Also, we have our Quinopoly Business Showcase. This is a Monopoly-themed business expo on April 5th, right here at the Best Western Plus. We will be having fabulous prizes, the Taste of North Haven and Wallingford, guest speakers, community chess scavenger hunt, speed networking, and much more, so don't miss it. This is a complimentary event, and just by coming, you are entered in to win an overnight stay for 2 at the Water's Edge Resort with dinner for 2, breakfast for 2, and 2 massages, so don't miss that. We still have booths available if you'd like to be an exhibitor. Also, on your table you see some brochures from an incredible trip that I was just fortunate enough to go on. Is a river cruise down the Danube. It was the trip of a lifetime. They are starting in Munich, several stops in Germany and in Austria, including Vienna, which if you have never been to Vienna, it is a sight to behold, and they will be ending this trip in Budapest. The ship is a brand new ship. It is beautiful, and if you are interested, they are doing a special up until February 28th, and then they're holding some cabins for us. We have people joining this trip already. If you're interested, let us know. After February 28th, they're going to open it up, and it will be on a first-come, first-served basis, so don't miss that. Also, we have our Effective Business Supervisor Series starting on March 14th, and that is Gaylord Specialty Healthcare. Thank you to Gaylord for hosting that, and that will be a 6-week program. Okay, if you would like more information for those events or events on the back of our program, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can jump on our website And we want to thank you all for coming. I hope it's not snowing out there yet today, so be safe traveling home. And again, we thank our sponsors as well. Thank you.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at nhtv.com.